Intellectual property is that category of property that you have a tough time putting your hands on. It's kind of an intangible, and is often characterized as either something that's protectable as a trademark or brand, a copyright for some creative work by an artist or author, and then there are inventions that are protected by patents. And then the fourth category that can kind of span the others but has a lot of intersection with patent law is trade secrets. Anything that's not widely known that has commercial value can be protected as a trade secret. So sometimes you have to make some strategic decisions as, do we want to protect this innovation we've come up with as a trade secret, or do we want to file a patent application for it? Entrepreneurs have to juggle so many different responsibilities and considerations in the air. And when it comes to intellectual property, they have to be careful that they don't inadvertently give up the innovation by disclosure or agreement with collaborators, partners. And so entrepreneurs have to be sensitive to what's the asset that they want to protect. If it's a brand, what do they do to make sure that there's a basic quality that's associated with that brand? If they're developing some sort of innovation that they would be protecting by patent rights, are they aware of the fact that if they make some disclosure prior to filing a patent application, they may have surrendered the invention rights? I think that there are a few do's for sure. And that is to put agreements in place when you're working with other people that define the expectations that you would want to have. Because in several instances, there will be something that goes wrong and your relationship with that collaborator or partner goes south. And you need to have something to fall back from that you contemplated from the beginning that defines what are some of the outcomes. Who's going to own some of the intellectual property rights that were co-developed? Who's going to get to develop those? Are they going to be limited in fields of use? Is there a way that you can negotiate through some of those challenges and come up with an amicable solution and avoid the costs of litigation, because litigation can be very expensive. Certain forms of intellectual property don't require any kind of pre-registration process. For example, in terms of developing a brand, you would start off with some sort of use or pre-registration to identify whether or not it's a protectable brand. But at some stage, when you're being commercially successful, you're going to want to register those rights and perhaps look at other countries or jurisdictions in which you'd want to protect your brand. Trademarks can be protected indefinitely so long as there's continual use and renewals of those registrations. In the patent world, you'll want to keep in mind that if you make a public disclosure before you file for a patent application, you may have surrendered your rights in many jurisdictions. In the copyright field, authors have to think about not so much the timing of when they file a copyright registration, but who they're collaborating with. Are they creating issues of joint works, joint ownership? And certainly if there is an infringement of a copyright, it's always best to register the copyright because of the statutory damages that a copyright holder can get as opposed to actual damages. The statute's very generous in terms of the money that you can recover for a registered copyright as opposed to an unregistered copyright. And then with respect to trade secrets, since trade secrets can be kept indefinitely, an important consideration is what's the likelihood that the innovation we've created could be reverse engineered by another party? And if the likelihood is good, then it's probably not a product or process that you want to protect with a trade secret. A patent might be a better choice. On the other hand, you have to sufficiently safeguard things that can't be reverse engineered, because once the cat's out of the bag, there's not much you can do about it. I think of, for example, if you've got a secret formula for a soda pop, if that formula ever got out, there would be nothing you could protect as a trade secret anymore until you came up with a new formula. The other thing that I would suggest is as an entrepreneur, as someone who's trying to develop their own business, you have such a multifaceted world of responsibilities that you can't handle them all at once. And finding good quality people to work with, whether they're in your organization or outside your organization, is key. And I would tell students to always take the opportunity as they're gaining their education to build a network of friends.